As a landscape photographer, I am often asked why use ND grads rather than HDR or high dynamic range. Although both techniques allow control of highlight and shadow detail, in my experience, ND grads tend to give a much more natural and organic looking result, and to me that's really important. In this video, I'd like to show you how ND grads work in practice. The search for the picture is, in many ways, is the essence of what landscape photography is about, and it's the thing that makes it most compelling and exciting for us. One thing you have to remember in most landscape situations, if you're looking to record a wide scene, is that the camera and the human eye do not see the same way. And the brain is the principal instrument of vision. Curiously, the eye provides the raw material, but the brain is a processor. It tells us that everything is good with the world, however dark or bright it is. The camera, on the other hand, is an honest-to-goodness light recording machine. So what it's seeing is the brightness as it is, as you can measure with a light meter. Sometimes that range is too great for the camera. So in a sense, graduated filters are the real foundation stones of open landscape photography, especially where the sky is a significant part of the image. That's what I want to try and illuminate in these next examples. As with so many things in life, there are different ways of deciding which filter to choose. Essentially, we have to meter the scene, and you may use automatic, but most enthusiast photographers will prefer to use manual settings on their camera, and actually that makes the process of choosing the filter easier. Essentially, look at the landscape itself, to point at the landscape and avoid the sky. So I can do that just here, and I'm using a very simple, well, it's the wide angle lens, and it's a simple matrix metering, and it's giving me 100th of a second at f10. If I point at the sky using the same matrix metering, it's giving me 2/50th at f10. So the dynamic range is not really that extreme, and that tells me that probably a relatively light and relatively soft filter will work fine with this image. Lee ND grads come in different strengths and different transitions from hard to soft, and for this picture I've decided to choose a 2-stop filter, which is a 0.6, and I'm still not absolutely sure which is going to work better, but my instinct is that the 0.6 soft is the best choice, so I'll start with that. And once it's in situ, I'll just take a picture. And that looks okay, but I have a feeling that the hard filter may be even better. Take another picture. And sure enough, here that actually gives a slightly moodier look, so I think it emphasizes the point that as well as helping you to achieve a technically better result, it's also a matter of interpretation of the light. The foreground here is quite bright, and the cliff in the background is really dark, and so this gives me an opportunity to use the filters in a very unusual way, because it's actually the lower part of the picture that's too bright here. So I'm going to use a graduated filter inverted, and it's a soft 2-stop 0.6. It's just darkening down the foreground very nicely, allowing me to expose correctly for the cliff in the background without overexposing the foreground. I can see from the back of the camera that the exposure range on this composition is really wide. It's at least 4 stops, and it's a strange composition, but I like it enough to want to try and get it to work. And the easiest solution to that would be to use a 3-stop graduated filter over the sky. Now the sky is on the right hand side of the picture, the cliff is on the left. And one of the beauties of the system is that we have 360-degree rotation within the holder. So I'm going to use live view, in fact, for this example. And it just enables me to, as it were, stand back from the composition and watch the grad as it comes into place. I've got a 0.9, a 3-stop ND grad, and it's going to darken it down a little bit with manual exposure. And while it's not a perfect fit, it really works very well overall, and the mood of the picture is complete. And there it is. This example is to illustrate a more advanced technique of using grads, and it's including a very wide dynamic range from bright sky to deep shadows. Ordinarily, this would be a really tricky situation for a single grad alone. And the way I've elected to get around it is to use 2 grads. I'm going to use a 2-stop soft on the inside on guide rail 1. And essentially that leaves only the bottom quarter of the image unaffected by the filter, and it just helps to smooth the central zone, but the sky is still too bright. So for that I need a 2-stop hard to go in guide rails 2, and sure enough that holds back the sky sufficiently, and I'm pretty sure that the final result will be pretty seamless. So it looks very much as it does to the eye, and that's the point of it.